ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين من ربه وصلوات ربي وتسليماته عليه. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أجارني الله وإياكم من النار ومما يقرب إليها من قول أو عمل. Dear brothers and sisters, one of the principles of Islam and the values of Islam called Ashura. And Ashura is an Arabic word for consultation, counseling, asking people advice, asking people's opinions whenever you want to make a decision in your life. That's called Ashura. And Ashura is Islamic principles that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to apply as Muslims in our life. And actually, one of the characteristics of believers that they apply that principles. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Ashura, and this is a whole chapter, one of the 114 chapters of Quran. It's called Ashura, which is the same name of consultation and counseling and asking people's advice. In that surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, describing the believers, He said, وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورَى بَيْنَهُمْ. And those their affairs are conducted in a mutual consultation. That whenever they want to make a decision, they always consult each other, ask each other opinions, and then they make the decision. And this ayah is very broad, that it's not only within like government or governing entity, but it's in every part of our life, within our families, within our as an individual. Whenever we want to make a decision, it should have the first thing to think of is, okay, I need to get opinions of others, people who I trust, people who I think they are expertise maybe in that area, to consult them and then to make my decision. So this is one of the principles of Islam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran also one ayah, one verse that indicate that even this concept should be applied even within the family matters. As we know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He talked about breastfeeding for the kids, He said, وَالْوَالِدَاتُ يُرْضِعْنَ أَوْلَادَهُنَّ حَوْلَيْنِ كَامِلَيْنِ لِمَنْ أَرَادَ أَنْ يُتِمَّ الرَّضَاعَةَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala recommended that okay, we got that noise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala recommended that mothers breastfeed their kids for 2 years if they can. 2 years. But then in the same ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَإِنْ أَرَادَ فِصَالًا عَنْ تَرَاضٍ مِّنْهُمَا وَتَشَاوُرٍ فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِمَا. He said, but if they, the mother and the father, if both of them, with mutual consultation and an agreement between them, if they wanted to stop the breastfeeding, it's okay. فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِمَا إِنْ أَرَادَ فِصَالًا عَنْ تَرَاضٍ مِّنْهُمَا وَتَشَاوُرٍ. See, the shura, it's from the shura. فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِمَا. So this is even in just a family matter, on even breastfeeding, on just family matters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to apply that concept of consultation so that we don't have just one person in the family, or one person in the organization, or one person in the government just dictating on other people what to do, and they're just enforcing his or their own opinions. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed another ayah commanding the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam clearly as a command that he consult his companions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. Shawirhum means also seek their advice, consult with them. And this is actually, it happened in Ghazwat Uhud, in the Battle of Uhud. But there are many examples that we are going to mention, that how the Prophet ﷺ really applied this concept of consultation, this concept of shura, in different level of and different situations, as a statesman, as a family man, as within a group. He, in different ways, the Prophet ﷺ always used to ask his companion and their opinions. And to the extent Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, I did not ever see a person asking his companions and consulting with his companion like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he used to consult with them in a lot of matters. He never been dictating his own opinion unless it is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ruled, and unless it's something that it's clearly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a ruling on it. That's an area that there is no consultation on it, and within the Muslim, of course, this is an area that we accept and we obey. And this is really, it's a lesson for us, because if the Prophet ﷺ was asked to make shura and to consult with his companion, and he is the one who is guided by the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that everything he do, he is corrected by Allah, and Jibreel will come anytime and guide him to the right path. So there is no mistake is expected from the Prophet ﷺ. But still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him to consult his companions, those who may not have that advantage that he has, but still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him to do that. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ is a role model for us. And whatever he do, we need to follow that. So if he was not consulting, we will not also consult. That's why Rasulullah as Allah said, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. The Prophet ﷺ was a good example for you to follow his steps. So the Prophet ﷺ did apply this concept, although he may not need it, because he is guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Jibreel will come to him anytime if there is any mistake or anything. But still, he applied that concept. And these are some, I am going to mention some examples from the Prophet's biography, from the Prophet's seerah, that tell us how the Prophet ﷺ applied this concept. If we take Ghazwat Uhud, the Battle of Badr, which is considered the first one, we find that in three situations the Prophet ﷺ consulted his companion. The first one is even to fight or not, because if you remember, for those of you who read about the Battle of Badr, initially the cause of that was that the Muslim wanted to hunt the caravan of Quraysh. The Muslim, when they were kicked out to Medina, and everything were taken from them, their houses, their wealth, their property were taken out from them. So they wanted to take the revenge on the caravan of Quraysh that was passing. But they didn't catch that caravan. And Abu Sufyan was the leader of that caravan, and he was able to escape. But during that time, when he felt that the Muslim is going to catch his caravan, he sent a message, a very quick message to Quraysh, asking them to send an army to protect their caravan. And of course Quraysh sent 1,000 warriors, and the leader was Abu Jahl. And they came to Badr. Now, when the Muslims did not find the caravan, they came back, and they were not even ready for a battle. And Abu Sufyan, who was the leader of the caravan, said to Quraysh army, "I'm already escaped, so you can go back, no need." But Abu Jahl said, "No, we need to give those Muslims a lesson. We need to fight them." So they came to fight. So the Prophet ﷺ, in his agreement with Al-Ansar, the people of Medina, his agreement with them was that to protect him within Al-Medina. There was no part of the agreement that they may fight or they may... So he has to ask them. He felt that he has to ask them. He cannot just bring them in a battle that was not agreed on and things like that. So the Prophet ﷺ asked them and said, "Ashiru alayya ayyuhan nas." Give me advice. We are in this situation and Quraysh is coming to fight. What do you think what we should do? So, the Muhajirin start talking, Abu Bakr, Siddiq, Umar ibn Khattab, and they all said, we are ready and things like that. But the Prophet ﷺ is still saying, "I need your opinion." So the Ansar knew, they felt that, "Okay, Ya Rasulullah, maybe you mean us. You want us to give you our opinion." So he said, "Yes, I need your opinion." So they told him also, "We believed on you and we are going to follow you and we are going to fight if any fight that you bring us to." So that was one of the applications that the Prophet ﷺ used in the Badr. Another consultation also. When they decided on the battle, the Prophet ﷺ army, which was about 300 people, they settled in a place in Badr. Badr is an area. So one of the Sahaba came to the Prophet and he said, "Ya Rasulullah, are we here because Allah asked us to be in this area, or it is based on war strategy and tactic and we should use our..." He said, "Yes, it's not a ruling of Allah, this is just what we think is about. So what do you think?" So the Sahabi suggested that we should be, all the waters and all the wells should be behind us and we should be facing the enemy while the water and the wells behind us as a war of strategy. This will shorten the battle. And so the point here is he gave his advice and the Prophet ﷺ took that advice and moved the army to that new place. Another shura, another consultation that the Prophet ﷺ also, during that one battle, he asked the Sahaba later on when they have the prisoners of war from Quraysh. He said, "What do we do with them?" So he asked them. So the Sahaba gave their opinion and he took the opinion of Abu Bakr, which was basically that we ask ransom, and whoever given his ransom, we can just return them. And who do not have a ransom, we can ask him to teach one of the Muslim kids, so that if they learn reading and writing, that's considered his ransom. So this way it ended that way. So the point here is that the Prophet ﷺ consulted the Sahaba in one battle 3 times, just to show you that how the Prophet ﷺ applied that. But the Prophet ﷺ was not only applying during this as a statesman, as a leader of an army, but even in even in a family matter, he used to ask. And we all know the incident when the hypocrites, the munafiqeen, accused al-Mu'mineen Aisha, the wife of the Prophet ﷺ, of adultery. And that was spread in Medina, and the Prophet ﷺ didn't know what to do. Because they accused her of something that he didn't see, but at the same time the Prophet ﷺ cannot just deny out of denial. And Jibril did not come to tell him the truth. And people was talking about his integrity, about his family, about his honor. It's a very painful thing. So at that moment, the Prophet ﷺ consulted with some of his companions, more related to his family. Ali ibn Abi Talib and Usama ibn Zayd, about what to do. And that's also an example. Every moment in the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ is a teaching moment for us. Because whatever he do is an example for us that we do also in our life. So the Prophet ﷺ, in that aspect also, he conducted the shura. And he used to conduct shura and take opinion from different people of the, elder people, younger people, man, woman. In Ghazwat Sulh al-Hudaybiyah, when was an agreement between Quraysh and the Prophet ﷺ, when the Muslims came to do Umrah in Mecca, and of course Mecca at that time was occupied by Quraysh. So the Quraysh, they said, no, we are not going to allow you to make Umrah. But then they entered in negotiation, and then there was the Sulh al-Hudaybiyah, or the agreement of Hudaybiyah. In that agreement, it was stated that the Muslims should go back and do not make Umrah this year. They can do it next year. And the Sahaba, they were already ready and already dressed for the Umrah, and they were ready for that, and they are not even armed. So when the Prophet ﷺ at the end of the agreement told them, we need to go back according to this agreement, they did not respond quickly. Because they felt that this is like injustice for them from Quraysh, and how we can accept that. And part of the agreement also was, it appeared like it is injustice for the Muslims, but the Prophet ﷺ agreed on it because he was looking on the long term. Part of the agreement was that there is no war for 10 years. And that's what the Prophet agreed on that, because he knew that Islam could spread better if there is a peace, so that people can listen to what Quran and what Islam is about, instead of having war. And one of the agreement articles also was that if one of Quraysh become Muslim, the Muslim has to return it to Quraysh. But if a Muslim become kafir or unbelievers, the Muslim cannot ban him. He can go. So it didn't look fair, but the Prophet ﷺ, he knew that no Muslims will go back to Jahiliyyah, so he accepted that. So anyway, coming back to the point of Ashura, the Prophet ﷺ, when he wanted to release himself from the Umrah, when you release yourself from the Umrah, you need to make a halq, or cut your hair. So he asked the Prophet to do that, the companions to do that. But the Sahaba, like they were frozen. They did not move. And the Prophet ﷺ, he entered to his house, to Salama, his wife Salama. And he said, Ya Salama, the companions are not listening. And I'm afraid that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish them. And Salama radiallahu anha said, Ya Rasulullah, just go and ask the person who's going to cut your hair to do that. And just don't talk to them. Just do that and you will see what will happen. And subhanallah, she was a very wise lady, and the Rasulullah did exactly what she said. And the Prophet, when the Sahaba saw the Prophet already doing that and not talking to them, they knew that they are making a mistake. They rushed and they stopped also cutting their hairs and releasing themselves from the Umrah. So the Prophet ﷺ, in different part, if we take the seerah, we will find many incidents. But these are just some of the incidents that I wanted to share with you from the Prophet ﷺ's biography. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهديه واستنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. If we talk about the example, is a lot. There are many examples, but I'm not going to. We have a short time, but I encourage you, inshallah, to look at this subject of the seerah, because we need to apply that concept. It's missing in our life. And this concept of shura and consultation and counseling is very important on all different levels. It's very important, and its benefit is obvious. Anytime when you make a decision and consult others who you trust and get the opinions of others, the likelihood of being mistaken will be much less than if you do it with your own opinion. And that's because when you consult others, you are basically, what you are doing here, you are bringing the brains of others to your brains, and you are bringing the background and the experience of others to look at one subject, and that will make your decision wiser, will make your decision very informative. Another advantage also for a shura is that, especially when you are a leader of a group, if you bring the group together and ask their opinions, and then all you together, you make an opinion or you make a decision. When things go well, everybody will be happy and people will appreciate that you involve them. But most importantly, if things went wrong and the decision was mistake, you are not going to be blamed for that because you involve everybody. And pointing fingers will not be there. Why? Because everybody involved in that decision. But if you are alone, that's their chance. That's their chance. So always we need to remember that. And even for the unity of the group, as a group in the masjid, as a group in an organization, as a family, whenever we do it together, we make the decision together, it's much important. That's very important for our unity. Much of the unity becomes shaken when a person becomes dictating, and then things go wrong, and then people start pointing fingers. So we need to apply that. We need to apply these principles. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the principle there for us. But He did not tell us, He did not dictate how to do it, how to apply it. It's up to us. The important thing is the value of consultation, the value of a shura. And this is very important because in our life today, and we see even in the Muslim world, unfortunately, we see rulers that really do not care about other people's opinion, other people's vote, other people's life even. And sometimes we wonder where they came from. And we forget that they came from us. They came from our families, they came from our institutions, they come from our schools. So it must be there's something also wrong there that we need to check it. If a family member, if the family discuss together when they want to do something together, and the child see that the father is not dictating, is not being a dictator, and the father is really consulting all of them, that value will be instilled in the children. And when they grow up, they will apply that. But if they don't see that in the family, if they don't see that in the schools, where the teachers maybe become the dictator, if they don't see that, if they don't practice that, do you expect them to be different when they become a ruler, when they have the power, when they have everything? So that's something we need, inshallah, to look at and to reflect on our situation, on our life. And this is one of the values of Islam that are neglected, and it's very important in our life as a guidance for any decision that we make. In all levels, in our family level, in our institution level, in our statement, in a state level, in all levels, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب للدعوات. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. أقول قولي هذا وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن